Thank you, CEO, and good morning, everyone. Trust your evening was pleasant and your sleep was very restful. Let me please start by acknowledging that we gather on Wonnarua Country. I'd like to pay respects to the elders past and present, and I ask that their ancestors look over us all as we meet and pass through their countries. And it would be remiss of me to not mention that we meet and gather in the boundaries of the Minderibba Local Aboriginal Land Council. Before I introduce our two deadly Wiradjuri regional presenters, I wish to formally recognise that when we meet here this week, and since our last conference, we have lost two land right legends within our regions, one of them being Uncle Jim Ingram, who at the last conference was awarded our Elders Award, and the other one, which was most recent, is a lovely lady, a staunch land rights member from Narrandera, Kath Cato Harrison, who, if we'd have got up yesterday, would have been on her 70th birthday. So we've lost two land right legends in our region. Certainly everyone else has lost a lot of legends along the way, but I wish to just formally recognise those two. I also want to just quickly recognise that we have in our region quite a number of land council CEOs, chairs and board members that have long-standing contributions to the land right system, and so this is also a bit of a recognition to them. I'd be here all day if I was to recognise them individually for their contributions, but know that their contributions don't go unnoticed. And of course, they do this with and for their members at their local Aboriginal Land Council. Just quickly, also, I'd like to pay a huge thank you to Southern Zone staff, in particular Jay Kickett and Handy staff, for the contributions and ongoing contributions in helping to compile this information here today, but their ongoing support to the local Aboriginal Land Councils each and every week as they go through their normal course of business. Ladies and gentlemen, it now gives me great pleasure to introduce our two presenters that are up on stage with me from the number one region, all of those other pretenders that were there before. There isn't any banter amongst us fellas, we're all land rights mob. But let me introduce to you, first of all, the young gentleman to my right is young Sam Kirby. Sam is the CEO at the Albury and District Local Aboriginal Land Council. And to his immediate left is Leanne Hampton, who is the CEO at the West Wyalong Local Aboriginal Land Council. Please join me and welcome them to the stage as they run through our presentation. Please enjoy.
Thanks, Councillor Cromlin. Again, I just want to acknowledge on behalf of us both that we're gathered here on Wonnarua Country, and it's my pleasure to be here for the first time up this way, so you know, it's really special. Before I get on with our presentation, like we said, you know, Councillor Cromlin stated that he thinks we're the number one region. We've got 21 lands councils. That's the most out of all the regions, and I think, you know, that's something really special and something really strong. And I think Councillor Cromlin, you know, being the councillor for this region, and you know, given all the work that you've done throughout your time as councillor, I just want to pay my respects to you and thank you for the last. I've only been the CEO from Albury District LALC for 12 months, and during that 12 months you've given me plenty of time and support, so I just want to thank you for that. As you can see from the list, there's a lot of lands councils there, and it's a massive area, so you know, that's a lot of work. It's probably why you probably don't have any more hair. But no, I really do want to thank you for your efforts, and obviously you've been a massive advocate for our area. Yeah, again, yeah, thank you, and I'm going to hand over to Leanne.
Thanks, Sam. First up, we have Young Land Council. Now, we've taken a snapshot of a few of the land councils across the region. Obviously, 21 land councils, it's a lot of land councils to cover. So we've taken a few of those and just condensed it a little bit. Otherwise, we'd be here all day talking about the wonderful things that the #1 region is doing. Okay, so Young Land Council are currently in the land negotiation project, working with NSWALC, Hilltop Council and the Department of Industry and Land and Water to negotiate all the Crown land within their area. Young LALC staff and board members have put together a team including a project officer and some consultants who are all Aboriginal people and are there to negotiate for as much land as they can in the process. It's expected to take between 18 to 24 months, and they are also expecting that the process will be completed in good faith so that they can have the best outcome for future generations. And I've had permission from Young Land Council to state that it has been a very onerous task that they've undertaken, and they'd be willing to chat to any of the other land councils that are in this process at the moment, because they've come across a few hurdles and a few barriers, and they would really like some feedback from you guys as well. Sam.
As I failed to mention, you know, it's our pleasure to speak on behalf of the other lands councils in our region, and this project's especially important to me, being from Moama. I grew up there, and my totem's a long-necked turtle. So Moama LALC has undertaken a fox control program. Foxes eat up to 95% of turtle eggs, so effective control is essential. Foxes will often dig up poison baits and store them elsewhere with no effects. This photo sequence is from the forest and shows a fox retrieving 1,000 baits and returning it to the same bait site over several days. So yeah, they've got some fantastic programs going down that way as well. This next one's from Bathurst LALC. When Bathurst mentioned this project to me, this was absolutely fantastic. So they partnered with Goodstart Early Learning in Bathurst. They've started up a bush kindy. It's held on Monday from 9:30 to 1:30 p.m. and teachers head out with the kids out into the environment to learn about the land. They're out there for 6 hours. They're preschool age children, and they've got nothing but the bush to go out there and entertain themselves. This is one of the first bush kindies in New South Wales. They're very popular in Victoria, and there's similar programs overseas. The bush kindy is situated on Bathurst LALC land and land at Walu. They've also made sure that they've asked me to mention that they do a lot of cooking out there and teach the kids to cook johnny cakes as well. What I really love about this project is that our lands councils are giving back to the mainstream services and showing the mainstream services that our culture can help them deliver their services better than what they're delivering at the moment. I think our culture shows that the way we do business can be as strong, if not better, than the mainstream services that are delivered in our communities already.
Okay, economic development, West Wyalong Land Council. We have a few projects in the pipeline at the moment, but this is one that I'm hoping will get off the ground in the next couple of years. As we know, we have all this land that we can use, thankfully through the land rights system and being able to claim back our land. But the Section 42 holds us up, ties our hands for years on end and at a great cost. At the moment, we are working with Justice Connect and a solicitor in Western Australia, actually, to do our Section 40, or work through our Section 42s. But we're also progressing with the hopes of having the Section 42 done, but having a planned subdivision in partnership with Evolution Mines in West Wyalong. There is a huge housing shortage in West Wollongong. The mines actually book up most of the motels, which the Wiradjuri region would know. We had a forum out there not long ago in West Wollongong, and there was hardly any accommodation for the guys to stay. So with Evolution Mines and Blanchard Council, we're proposing to subdivide a large parcel of land that we have and have that housing available to not only mainstream and to the mines, but also to our members.
Yeah, this is just a little bit of information about Albury and District Local Aboriginal Land Council. This is obviously our Lands Council. In the last 12 months, we've come out of a really tough spot, and it's been it was great yesterday to hear from a lot of lands councillors that are transition out of administration, and they're in fantastic spots. And 12 months in, you know, I'm questioning whether how much longer I've got in it, and it's fantastic to hear how many other CEOs were in that position at one point, and that they've powered through that and managed to turn their lands council around and succeed. So this time last year, we just came out of administration. We had a new board. We were just being funded by an assistance agreement. We had a massive debt that we didn't fully know how much that was, and land management issues that we weren't quite aware of. So we had a massive task ahead of us. For me, it was when I came into the position, it was about giving our members an opportunity to have a say what they wanted for their lands council, what they wanted and what was their vision. When I asked members, how long has it been since you come into the lands council? Some of them were saying, you know, it's been 8 years, it's been 10 years. I've been a member since it started. Just purely because they've been disengaged and disempowered from being involved in their lands council. So I really wanted to give them an opportunity to set their own goals and aspirations for our LALC. This is just a bit of a framework, kind of what I put out to our members, just to, I guess, highlight some of the opportunities that were in our community. Our community's crying out for our LALC to kind of step up and take on these responsibilities, and it's the reason why I jumped into the role was because I could see how much it was hurting our community not having a strong lands council, and I hope that I'm taking it on the right journey, but giving our members choice is something that we haven't had in recent times. So as you can see there, we've got plenty of opportunities in land management, culture and heritage, economic development, both short-term and long-term. So I'm really pleased 12 months in with the help of our zone. So I want to thank Jay while I'm up here for the fantastic support that our zone's been, and thank Councillor Cromlin as well. So Leeton and District LALC, they've been undertaking a bit of training lately. So with the bushfire training, that's been about looking after country, further training from the site works training that they've already carried out. Some of the community members have undertaken white card. This group's been disengaged from the Lands Council, and not all of them are members of the LALC. Through men's and women's group, they've been slowly building their relationship with the LALC under the ALRA. They support all Aboriginal people within their boundary. Now this group have all got their white cards, and some of them have gone to further employment. Others, it's their first step towards employment. Now for Hay, I'll just talk about their Copper Punch program. The name there, I'm not so sure about the name, but yeah. They've undertaken undertaken a partnership with Hay and Griffith Local Police and PCYC. Program started in Term 2, 2007 and still going strong in 2018. The program is designed to provide a positive start to the day and build positive community relations with the local police. Students are picked up by the Hay LALC staff from their home and taken to the centre for the morning program. Each child is given a singlet, towel, toiletry bag and supplied breakfast at no cost. Children then attend school for the day. Each child has to attend school on a regular basis and not be in any trouble at school within the community to attend. Each time a child attends the program, they are awarded a point, which then in turn allows them to purchase sporting equipment through the PCYC. So that's something that's fantastic. Hay LALC's also undertaken a bike safety program. They've hosted 2 successful bike safety programs for the children of Hay. These programs are in partnership with the Birrung Enterprises Development and Roads and Maritime Service. Both programs had a high attendance rate and very positive feedback was given. Each child received a free bike helmet and were taught bike safety and maintenance plus a free lunch. Hay
LALC has also undertaken a driver education program in partnership with Birrung Enterprise. They've offered support in gaining licences and free driving lessons. More than 60 free driving lessons were handed between 21 participants. And pictured here is Kerry Parker, who has been a long-term member of Hay Land Council, and she's finally received her licence. NAIDOC celebrations in Hay as well. It's an annual event and it's growing each year in Hay. They partnership with, is it Moama Corporation or co-management, and host various activities each year. Hay also undertake site protection works, and it's one of Hay's main core priorities, and it's obviously to protect, enhance and maintain Aboriginal culture and heritage. Through these works, staff and members engage in meaningful employment and activities whilst obtaining on-the-job training in site monitoring and protection. The Hay area is very rich in culture and heritage across the region, and they just wanted to make a point of saying that they do not support the Cultural Heritage Bill in its current format, and they would like to call for NSWALC to address that and perhaps call for a state meeting in regards to the bill. Cultural heritage in West Swalong. We've had a pretty disengaged, I guess, partnership with the current mine that is at Lake Cowell. But over the past few years, we've been developing that relationship, and we have been successful in quite a few grants through their community partnership program, and we decided to develop a keeping place for all of our artefacts. There's quite a few that are on the mine site, but they're still kept in a shipping container. So we thought it was important for people to be able to come to an area where the artefacts were being displayed correctly and with respect that they deserve. We also use this room as a cultural re-education centre. We have a lot of schools come through now, and they're engaged in learning about our culture and especially the Wiradjuri culture. One of our presenters, Linton Howarth, is there with just one of the groups that we have that are there on a regular basis with the West Swalong High School. We also work with the other 4 or 5 schools within our land council boundary.
So this is Pija LALC. They were incorporated 18th October 1996, and sounds like they've been doing some fantastic work since then. PJA's managed to hold successful NAIDOC celebrations during this year, and they've been very well attended and very successful. As you can see from the photos, it sounds like that community's had a lot of fun and a lot of success putting on those events. Young LALC, they've managed to host a keeping place project. Young LALC was successful in receiving a grant to create a keeping place at their LALC office. They're hoping to create a space that teaches locals and tourists about culture and heritage, and have local artefacts and artworks on display.
Leeton&District have been hosting Christmas parties for their members. There's just a few photos from their Christmas party this year. They also have a women's group. This group picture is of the women's group on the day that the kids got their t-shirts. The women's group, Mige Alawa, started nearly 3 years ago. They are funded by a few different programs through a partnership between Leeton&District LALC, Interreach and TAFE. The group has been supported by Centrecare since the inception, and other services attended sporadically.
Again, one of the successful NAIDOC celebrations held this year just shows an article on a local paper. I believe it was on the front page, which was fantastic. Some positive news for that community. The event started very small and has grown approximately to 350 people over the last 10 years that they've been hosting it. The event is a great opportunity for services to raise awareness of what their programs do and to meet the community. This year was the first year the local home for the elderly attended and was involved. The local daycare and out-of-school care have attended for the last 4 years, and Parkview Public School have run the barbecue for many years with their teachers volunteering.
So that concludes the presentation from Wiradjuri region. I'd just like to reiterate again, we have 21 land councils across our region. It's been a huge job for Councillor Cromlin, and we would like to wish him all the best in his retirement. And we hope that there's plenty more years to come, and we'll still see you out and about within the community. So thank you, Craig, very much for all of your work.
They've done a great job, but just while I've got a little bit of time up my sleeve, with 21 land councils, obviously what you saw was only a number of land councils, but it doesn't highlight all the fantastic things that a lot of the land councils are doing. A lot of it is about keeping membership together, a lot of it's about protection of culture and heritage, but a lot of it is also about innovative stuff. So where we don't have a lot of opportunity to get into businesses or to start businesses, some of them are now looking at how do we then create economic opportunities. So we're quite a few years behind where the coastal land councils or the larger regional land councils are. But the work that they're doing are fantastic jobs. They've kept the land council operating. The doors have been open. And the region stretches from, for those of you who don't know where Pijar is in Goulburn. So at far east is at Goulburn to just New South Wales side of Swan Hill. And there's 21 land councils in between. They do a fantastic job. They keep everything going along very nicely. And I've absolutely been honoured in my time, and I've still got another 12 months to go to be the councillors. And the greatest thing about being a councillor is not that you get to do this sort of stuff here, or you sit down at the tables and negotiate. We get to go out and meet the community and the people in community. So I'll stop there. That's the #1 region.